I remember it like it was yesterday. We were winding up this huge mountain back and forth, as any of you might know. When you go into the mountains, it kind of cuts back and forth to go up so that you can gain altitude and not go on such a steep incline. But with each turn, I just felt sicker and sicker. My stomach was getting queasy, and there was country music playing. Ugh. And little by little, I was just getting ready more and more to just hurl. And I couldn't take it anymore. And finally, I remember reaching over and grabbing my dad and just being like, "You have to stop." And he's like, "You all right?" And he looked at me, and I guess, I was pale. And so he pulled over. And of course, I jumped out of the car and hurled on the side of the road. It was quite the experience. We're going to talk about it on today's podcast. Hi, my name is Michael Johnson. I'm a ballroom dance professional, a life coach, and a peak performance expert. I'm part of a group of motivated people who are dedicated to attaining emotional mastery and unlocking our full potential. We've realized life is a dance. The ups and downs can spin you out of your mind, but it's time to take back control. It's time to become a lifer. We don't believe others are responsible for how we feel. In fact, we don't believe anyone can make us feel anything. We are a new breed of overachievers. Emotional mastery is our journey, and unlocking our full potential is the key. Welcome to the journey. We are lifers, and this is Magic for Life. What's up, lifers? Michael Johnson here with the Magic for Life podcast. I'm so glad you joined me today. And today I wanted to just sort of reminisce a little bit and go back to an old story. So I'm going to pick up where I left off. I jumped out of the car, and it's funny what the brain remembers. Now, this is an experience I remember, and I remember it so clearly. But it was an experience from when I was about 10, maybe 8 years old. And my dad was taking me camping. We were going up into the mountains to go camping for a couple days. And was so excited, just as a kid. It was like, okay, this is going to be so much fun. And we got up ridiculously early. I mean, it was probably 4 o'clock or something. And I remember going to an old donut shop called Winchell's, I think is what it was. I don't know. Some of you have to tell me if you remember this old place. It might have just been something that was in Albuquerque where I grew up. And I remember going to the donut shop. It was impactful because it was so dang early, and I was like, man, do they make donuts at this hour of time? Anyway, we got our donuts, and I can remember it still. I got the thick cake-like donut, and I probably got like 2 of those, and was so excited. And I remember my dad asking me, well, what do you want to drink? And honestly, it was like 4:30 in the morning, but I was wide awake. I was so excited to go on this trip. And I was like, I'll have grape juice. And so we get in the car and we start driving. And of course, I, scarfed down my donuts and my grape juice. And we hit that mountain and started going up, winding back and forth. And with each turn, with each curve, I just got sicker and sicker. And I was probably car sick. I mean, that's probably what it was. And sure enough, at a certain point up the mountain, I just couldn't take it anymore. And I, reached over, grabbed my dad. I was like, you got to stop the car. And, he could tell. You can kind of see at that point when somebody's about to hurl. I'm sure I turned white and pale. So anyway, I jumped out of the car and was hurling on the side of the road. Was so sick. And, the whole experience up that mountain, and I can't remember the rest of that trip at all. Like, not a thing. But that whole moment from getting the donuts all the way up the mountain till when I lost it, I can remember the album that my dad was playing and the songs, and I remember the donuts that I got, and I remember the fact that I drank grape juice. And it was such a crappy experience. Now, I could not for the life of you, and I thought for a long time before I started this podcast, what the heck trip I was on. Like, I don't remember if we were backpacking or if we were just, just camping for the weekend. Not a clue. That's where my memory ends. It was such a powerful memory. And honestly, guys, it's been a long time. But it was so powerful and so impactful. My body physically was so powerfully rejecting all of that food that I put in, and especially the grape juice. And honestly, those of you that are out there that have had an experience where you've just lost it and maybe hurled whatever it was that you ate, maybe it was some food poisoning or maybe just getting motion sick like I think I was at the time. Whatever it was that you ate is like off limits for years. And I'll tell you what, to this day, I really have to think twice about drinking grape juice. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'll have a sip here and there. So, what's the point, right? Like, why am I telling you this story? It's pretty simple. When the body is physically affected, it's in such a massive impact, it tends to remember these things. They get anchored into our memories. And it's pretty powerful. Your body is super strong, and your mind combined. When you anchor in something super strong like that, you can remember it forever. And it's not what I chose to remember. It's not how I wanted to remember it. It's just what ended up going into the memory. And quite honestly, it's a testament to how strong these anchors can get set into your mind. And we did, that happens all from using your body, changing your physical state. In that particular case, maybe I didn't have much of a control on that. So then forever, I just can't drink grape juice. And I know some of you out there, you know what I'm talking about with whatever food it is that you've gone through that with. And these anchors are so powerful, but that's something that the body was doing to just sort of, okay, we got to clear out the system and get things right here before we move on. But it also works with other things like your emotional states. Now, to this day, I still can't eat those donuts either. I mean, that's definitely a thing. Everybody's like, you don't like cake donuts? And I can't do it. And of course, the thing that pops into my head is the grape juice and those donuts and that memory of going up that mountain. Your memories can be powerful, and combined together with the body, the physical output of the body, was such a violent combination that it puts us into a peak state. And that peak state is powerful. It's powerful to learn things in, and it's powerful to set things into your memory. And so a lot of times when you're in those peak states, those are the memories that you end up remembering. Now, I chose this one to talk to you about because it's a little bit of a grosser memory, so it kind of stands out a little bit. But it could be something positive, winning a championship, or that competition that you've set out to win, or hitting that big business deal that you have been aiming for years, or finally hitting that that one product that finally sells. Those big moments. Usually, it's because we're in a peak state. Our body is active and really engaged. Our senses are heightened. And we can learn something in those moments in the fastest way possible. So how can we apply this? Well, some of those situations are circumstantial, like going up that mountain. But You can actually put them together yourself. You can create the peak state. If you want to learn something better, maybe you're a student studying in school, maybe the best thing to do, and I can actually tell you this from experience, is right before you study, jump on a trampoline. Like I have a small trampoline right next to me in my office, because when I've got to get my body physically awake and prepared to be active and ready to learn or ready to create, it's a great thing to do. Jump on a trampoline, or go for a quick little run, or jog around the room, or jump up and down and do jumping jacks, or dance for a minute. Put on a song that you love and that you really dig, and get your body into a great physical state. And that's one element of it. And the other side of it is getting your mind into that peak state and being prepared for what it is that you're going to do. And this helps you to access the soul. This is huge. So honestly, guys, this is a great way to anchor things in. Now, remember, it's not about positive or negative, because, you would figure, hurling and remembering that memory, there's not really a ton of positive things from it, unless you think about it from the other side. The mind was looking at it and going, yeah, your body doesn't like that, and so I'm going to remember this forever, so you don't put that in your body again, because I don't want to go through that experience. And that's kind of how it goes. And that all happens quick and maybe subconsciously in your mind. So think about these things that create solid anchors, and start to try to create your own. Some stuff that you can actually be in control of and that you can manage. And remember, if you're not setting your positive anchors in your mind and in your world, then who is? Is it the outside world? And are you okay with that? Are you okay with the world around you setting up your anchors and telling you how you're supposed to feel and making you feel that way that they've determined, maybe predetermined, or maybe even planned in a marketing campaign? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not. And honestly, it's a journey to be able to get to that point where you can start to control that. And it's so easy to spiral out of control one way or the other, that you've got to be able to keep watch on your soul and on your mind and on your body. Because if you don't, then other things, your world around you, will take over. And it's time. It's time for you to be in charge. So, all you lifers out there, step up and think about it. You probably have some memories like that that are powerful. Maybe a car accident or something like that. It's super powerful, and it puts you in a peak state, and you can remember every little teeny detail about it. But why not start doing that with things that we want to learn, or that we want to improve at, or that we want to get better at? You can do it. That's something that's totally within your control. Anyhow, I appreciate you joining me on the podcast today. I hope this little bit of information will help you in your day. And as usual, if you know somebody that this podcast can help and affect their life in a positive way, please pass it on, share it. There's usually a share link on all of the different platforms that you can listen to the podcast on. And let us know that you're loving the podcast. Take a screenshot and maybe throw it up on social media, hashtag Majic for Life. And let us know that you're loving the podcast. Post it up on your Facebook page so other people can see it and maybe get to it easier. Anyway, we sure appreciate you. We appreciate all of the listeners that are out there. And keep letting us know so that we can keep making this great content for you. So anyway, we will see you on the next podcast. And as a side note, I just wanted to share with you, we just got the proof back a couple days ago from the new book coming out, and you're going to love it. It is so exciting. It's always fun to see a big project starting to come together like that. As usual, if you haven't signed up for the pre-order of the book, you can do that by going to everyminutebook.com, and we'd love to get you out the book first before anybody else. So you can do that by going to everyminutebook.com and getting your pre-order of the book It is called Every Minute, and we're excited to share it with you as soon as we get through this last round of checking the book out and making sure the words are all spelled right. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Want more magic for life? If so, then reserve your copy of my new book. Get your copy at everyminutebook.com. Inside this book, you'll find the secrets to attaining the next level of performance in anything you do. Learn the secrets behind emotional mastery that'll start you on your new journey of being a lifer. Whether you're an athlete, a business professional, or an artist, this book will change your life forever. Get your copy reserved today.